There we go. Hi everyone, and welcome to Rampage or TWF Rampage or Ram Crew. I'm Michael Cole, Tony Schiavone, and Paulie Dangerously here. And today on Rampage or Ram Crew, we're going to see the TWF Women's Heavyweight winnings on stake when Amber Moon takes on Bailey for the TWF Women's Heavyweight winnings, Michael Cole says. You got that right, Tony Schiavone says. Amber Moon has become a two-time TWF Women's Heavyweight fighter, and her and Bailey did have a match, not too long ago. So now they're going to fight again here today on Rampage Ram Crew. I'll tell you one thing right now, Michael and Tony. Soon it's going to be the 10th month, and if some folks are lucky, Bailey might become the TWF Women's Heavyweight fighter again, or most likely will not. Well, your guess is good as mine if that's going to happen or not. Because we do know that Ember Moon is the ROH Women's Heavyweight fighter in AEW, and she hasn't lost it since then. Well, Paulie Dangerously says, well, that be true, Michael Cole says, that Amber Moon is the TWF Women's Heavyweight, is the AEW Women's Heavyweight, the ROH Women's Heavyweight fighter in AEW. But at the same time, it does not mean, at the same time, that's true, Michael Cole says, that does not mean that she is going to keep the TWF Women's Heavyweight winnings. Well, that could be right, Tony Schiavone says. Amber Moon being the ROH Women's Heavyweight fighter in AEW is one thing, but thinking that's going to help her beat Bailey here today, we gotta think again. I can't stand it. Come on, stand up. Alright, everyone. As you know, look, everyone, I, the two-time TWF Women's Heavyweight fighter, and you know that I could put this around my waist, around my middle if I wanted to, but I don't, because we all know it's going to take a lot of time to do that. And I wonder if someone out there wants to take me up on my open dare to win this TWF Women's Heavyweight winnings that goes back to 2020, third between FYL, free between FYL. I don't know if anyone is woman enough or man and woman enough to come for this. I am, Bailey says. And I know this isn't the up. I know this is not the now. This is not the now doll of me. I know it's not. Alright? And I'll say that, yeah, you've been a good TWF Women's Heavyweight fighter, Amber Moon, yeah. And I'll also give you your own by saying that somehow, some way, you still kept, that somehow, some way, that you're still the ROH Women's Heavyweight fighter in AEW. Only, at the end of the day, I don't really think that's, I really don't think that's gonna, I really think that's gonna help you that much when I win it back from you. Yeah. Well, Bailey, it's true. I'm still the ROH Women's Heavyweight fighter in AEW. It's true I haven't lost that since I won it. You can't say the same about yourself, Bailey. I mean, yeah, you can say you were a two-time Women's World Heavyweight fighter and a two-time WWE Women's Heavyweight fighter, two-time WWE Women's Tag Team fighter, and a one-time WNXT Women's Heavyweight fighter. But you didn't win. But you didn't keep your winnings long enough. Yeah, well, winning and losing them is one thing, and I know that I'm going to win it back. Well, now we got the Fight Lord coming in now, so now we know this match is going to happen. Now, this is for the TWF Women's Heavyweight Winnings. First, she is Bayley, and she is the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, Ember Moon. Well, first off, Michael Cole said it is true that Ember Moon is still the ROH Women's Heavyweight Fighter in AEW. You know, and hasn't lost it since she won it. But is that going to help her beat Bayley? I don't think so. Oh. And here we go right now with a body slam. And another suplex, whatever that one would be, Michael Cole says. Yeah, well, Tony Schiavone said Ember Moon has not lost, still is the ROH Women's Heavyweight Fighter in AEW. Her time in WWE did not go very well, if you talk to some folks. And now Bayley getting out of the way. You talk to some folks, they'll say her time in WWE wasn't handled very well. Tony Schiavone says, well, that'll be the truth. Let's tell the truth, Paulie Dangerously said. When she was first in WWE, she was on NXT the first time. And she won the WWE NXT Women's Heavyweight Winnings. And then when she went to Raw, they didn't really do much with her except have some matches. And when she went to SmackDown, it was the same thing. Then when she went back to NXT for a 2nd time, she won the WWE NXT Women's Tag Team Winnings at the time. But that was it. Paulie Dangerously said. Then she went to AEW after they let her go. And then she won the ROH Women's Heavyweight Winnings in AEW. And it's, Paulie Dangerously says, and I think Ember Moon is not the kind of woman to fuck with. Paulie Dangerously says, you could be right about that, Michael Cole says. Really, no one really knows why Ember Moon's time in WWE went the way it went. But a lot of folks like to come to the top steeple and down on Bayley. And Michael Cole says she's going to do the Eclipse or the Block. I don't know if she still does that in AEW, but she did it when she was in WWE, though. And the one thing we got to worry about, one thing we got to worry about is someone out there, Tony Schiavone says, will say, I think she still does it. They might call to hold something else. I think she's going to do the Block again and hope that this time it will give her the win. Tony Schiavone says, oh yeah, and Paulie James says, folks are going to get on us and say, oh, she's called Athena now. Yeah, in AEW she's called Athena, and WWE she was called Ember Moon, that's what we're going to call her. Bayley to Belly, from the top steeple. Bayley looks like she's going to beat Ember Moon, Paulie Dangerously says. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Here we go. Oh, she got her down with the block again. Ember Moon's going to beat Bayley here today on Rampage or Ramfru, Michael Cole says. Yes, she will, and she'll keep the TWF Women's Heavyweight Winnings, Tony Schiavone says. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, and still the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, Ember Moon. Well, Ember Moon is still the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, and she beat Bayley here today on Rampage or Ramfru. You know, Michael Cole says, and we don't know if she still does the Eclipse or not. Doesn't know if she does the Block or not. But even if she does not do it anymore, that's still the hold we're going to make her do. But overlooking all of that, had a really good match with Bailey. She ended up beating Bailey. Bailey had nothing to be ashamed of or guilty of because she had a good match. And she put in a fight. But she didn't win, Michael Cole says. Well, no, it's true. She didn't win, Tony Schiavone says. She didn't become the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter again, but it was still a good match all the same between Ember Moon and Bailey. Yeah, well, at the end of the day, Bailey's just going to have to, at the end of the day, Bailey is just going to have to deal with being a loser, Paulie Dangerously says. Because in fights, there are winners, and then there are losers. And even though Bailey had a good match and a good fight, she's going to have to deal with, with not winning. Paulie Dangerously says. And who's next, who's next for Ember Moon? That's the asking thing. Well, alright, we'll take it away now to Mike today. Thank you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with Bailey here today on Dynamite or Mike. My head's always crooked, always on straight. Alright, Bailey, you didn't win back the TWF Women's Heavyweight winnings. Yeah, I know, Mike, today sometimes in life things don't always go the way you want them to go. You don't always get things you want. Things don't always go your way, and you can't always get your way. But this little setback isn't going to stop me. I'm going to keep on working. I'm going to keep on putting in the time and the work. And sooner or later, I'll have another match with Ember Moon. And when I do, I will be a two-time TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter. Yes, it's true, Ember Moon is still the ROH Women's Heavyweight Fighter in AEW. All good for her and all. But at the end of the day, that doesn't make her unbeatable here in the TWF. So you see yourself winning the TWF Women's Heavyweight winnings from Ember Moon one day. Yes, I do. That's what I see myself doing. I see it, I insight it. I don't know when or how it's going to happen. I don't know the time or the date or the month or the year instead. But I know that one day it will happen. Alright, that's my talk with Bailey. Back to you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. Thank you, Mike, today for talking with Bailey here today on Dynamite or Mike. Talking to Bailey here today on Rampage or Ram Crew. And that's all the time we've got here. I, Michael Cole, Tony Schiavone, and Paulie Dangerously. We hope you like Rampage or Ram Crew. And we'll see you tomorrow for Collision or Hit.